Okay, now we'll go for a blood transfusion. So what is a blood transfusion? Here we'll take a blood from the donor and give it to the recipient who ideal donor say will give it for a proper recipient after taking all necessary precaution. This process is called blood transfusion. तो उसमें डोनर आता है रेसिपिएंट आता है तो फर्स्ट विल टॉक अबाउट रेसिपिएंट किसको ब्लड की जरूरत पड़ती है सो वन ऑफ द कॉमनेस्ट कॉजेज व्हेनेवर देयर इज अ सीवियर ब्लड लॉस कौन सी कंडीशन में सीवियर ब्लड लॉस हो सकता है रोड ट्रैफिक एक्सीडेंट्स any other injuries industrial injuries then post operative cases during surgery there is a lot of blood loss then post pregnancy there is usually lost during seizure or during normal delivery also sometimes they tear on the uterus and can cause severe bleeding in those conditions blood transfusion is required and we need to do blood transfusion to save life second thing when there is a severe anemia and person is in a emergency like if so patient has a pregnancy with a hemoglobin like a 5 or 6 gram then it is very threat to her life also and fetus life also in that condition we need to restore the hemoglobin fastly then we need to do blood transfusion or suppose person having severe anemia and posted for the surgery in that case also before surgery only we are anticipating that blood is going to lose so before person goes to shock it's better to first restore the hemoglobin by doing blood transfusion for 3-4 days and then post him for the surgery. Then we already discussed this in hemolytic anemia, hemolytic diseases of the newborn. In that for exchange transfusion we do use for the blood transfusion. Then patient having various blood diseases like aplastic anemia, granulocytosis, thrombocytopenia, hemophilia or other clotting factor defects and all those things. In those conditions, as there is repeated blood loss or severe anemia will be there and there is no other treatment available, then we can go for the blood transfusion. Then poisoning, carbon monoxide poisoning also we could go for blood transfusion. Then हम लेते किससे है blood? We take it from the donor and how we'll decide the donor to whom we need to take. So he has to be age between 18 to 16 years. Both male and female we can take, but his age should be between 18 to 16 years. Minimum 18 इसलिए because after 18 you can give valid consent and after 60 the health is already compromised, so we'll not take blood after 16. Second thing, we usually not accept the blood from the pregnant or lactating ladies because they already need their blood too much, preferably. But if there is emergency and we don't have any other option, then we can take it from the pregnant or lactating lady also. Then donor should not have any known diseases. अगर already उसको known है तो लेने का कोई sense ही नहीं है. And even if it is not known, then we'll screen the blood for the various blood transport diseases like HIV, viral hepatitis, malaria, or syphilis. In those conditions, a patient should not have fever 15 days before. 15 दिन तक उसको बुखार नहीं होना चाहिए. He should not have gone for major surgeries just before the blood donation. All those things. Apart from this, he should not have anemia. So hemoglobin should be above 13 gram %. Okay. So these are the criteria one who fulfill. From that person only will usually take blood. Sorry. We usually take blood. Then there is a concept of universal donor and universal recipient. That universal donor and universal recipient concept is old. We don't consider them actually as a universal donor recipient, but we can keep them as a backup. So who is a universal donor? O negative
Positive.
blood group. It is not O positive, it is O negative blood group.
Okay, sir.
आप किसी भी इंडिविजुअल को दे सकते हो without checking blood transfusion, but we don't do this because he is already very rare blood group and it has to be treated very judiciously. So we doesn't prefer to give this O negative blood group to everyone because O negative individual can receive only blood group from the O negative individual. So we try to prevent it, and these O negative blood group are very important for the treatment like hemolytic diseases of newborn, RH incompatibility. In this O negative blood group will be the life saving for them where we cannot determine the blood group. or any individuals where we cannot determine the blood group, in that individual also we can give O negative blood group. Then who is the universal recipient? It is AB positive group. Okay, AB positive is a universal recipient, but it doesn't mean that आप किसी का AB positive तो उसको किसी का भी blood देते हो. We usually prefer AB positive blood group. Recipient should receive blood group from AB positive individual only. If in case of emergency, if it is not available, then we can think about other options. Then come to the what precautions you should take while doing the blood transfusion. It's a very important step, and by ignoring these precautions only, a lot of mishappenings happen during the blood transfusion. So first and most important precautions, blood transfusion should be the last option for the treatment. ये नहीं कि पेशेंट को नहीं में तो ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन दे दो, ये नहीं तो वो कर दो. ऑलवेज थोड़ा ब्लड लॉस हो गया तो ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन दे दो. It should be last option. If there is no other option available, then only go for the blood transfusion. Now, why I am saying this? Because doing the blood transfusion is as great risk, as great at risk like you are going for the major surgery. So that's why it is preferably to treat patient with other remedies than blood transfusion. If but there is indication, absolute indication of blood transfusion, then only go for the blood transfusion. Second step, once you've decided a blood transfusion is required, the second stage what you are supposed to do is to do the cross matching. Cross matching with the donor blood and recipient blood. So cross matching क्या होता है? We'll take a sample from the donor bag, we'll take a blood sample from the recipients, and then we'll centrifuge those things. We'll separate the plasma, we'll separate the RBCs, both recipients and donor. Now what we'll do? First we'll do major cross match. Here what we'll do? We'll mix the donor's RBC with the recipient plasma. The donor's RBC with recipient plasma. Now this is what actual occur in our body. Donors के RBC हमारे body में जा रही, plasma भी जाता है, but that I'll describe later. Donors RBC and exposed to the recipient's plasma, because recipient plasma has a huge 5 liter के आसपास plasma होता है, and in that, and these reactions, whatever occur in this will exactly occur in our body. And if any reactions occur in between these two conditions, then we will reject that blood. Okay. Second type is a minor here. Here what we'll do? Donor's plasma will mix with recipient's RBC. और ये opposite, here donor plasma बहुत कम होता है. अब जब blood donation करते हैं, blood transfusion करते हैं, 500 ml में 300 ml जा रहा है. So it is very less. So it usually get diluted. So though here reaction occur, so reactions occurring in our body will be little less because of it. The plasma will get diluted. But still, if reaction occur here, then also we reject the blood. And this major cross matching and minor cross matching will take care of the all other blood groups. ABO blood group, RH blood group हमने already कर लिया होता है, and all this major and minor cross matching will take care of all antigen antibody reaction which can happen in the blood. If this both shows no antigen antibody reaction, then it is clear that there is no reaction can occur in recipient and donor's blood, and we can easily give this blood to the individual. Next precautions, never ever transfuse the Rh positive blood group to the Rh negative individual. Though it doesn't cause any abnormality, but it will sensitize the Rh negative's immune system for the Rh antigen and will start developing Rh antibodies. And specifically if it is for the woman, if you are doing, then it will be very difficult for her to have pregnancy after this blood recipitation. Okay. Then donors should be always screened for the all other the diseases which already we saw. If we find any disease, they'll discard that blood. Then we should check once all these precautions you are done, all these 4 precautions, then you'll get receive the blood from the blood bank in the form of either blood bag or blood bottle. पहले blood bottles होती थी, nowadays it is usually blood bag. Then you should check the name of the recipient's blood group on the blood bank and blood group of the recipient, and this should be checked by 2 individuals, and they should sign also. So they should check the name, they check the blood group, they should check registration number also, and then they should sign also, and it should be 2 individuals. Out of this, 1 individual must be doctor. Preferably, second individual should also be doctor, but if doctor is not available, then at least it should be qualified nurse. And then you should write down all those things on the paper of the individual's patient's case paper. You should, whatever you are able to read it on the label of the blood bag, that you should write. And then you stick that label which present on the blood bag onto the paper of the recipient. And then you start blood transfusion. We had a special blood transfusion set, we call it a BT set, which is a little bit bigger, so that the blood can go easily to the IV. IV में हम लगाते हैं, and then we'll start. So before starting, what you should do, after writing down all those things, you should write down the BT notes. What is BT notes? In this, you should write down the vitals of the patient. उसका pulse कितना है, BP कितना है, respiratory rate कितना है, body temperature कितना है. These all 4 parameters should be write down before blood transfusion. Then you start blood transfusion, and it should be very, very slow initially. And then after that blood transfusion started, you should monitor this pulse, BP, respiratory rate, and temperature every 15 minutes after blood transfusion till the blood transfusion is over, and it should be kept always in the writing. Okay. Apart from this, other precautions is we should take that. We should always ask for the medicines which we are supposed to give in case of any reactions occur. And those medicines are, one is steroid, another is antihistaminic, and laxatives, that is Lasix. So not laxative, it is a diuretics, that is Lasix. So all these 3 injections we should bring before. Reaction आने के बाद फिर मंगाना ऐसे नहीं है. It should be close to the patient's table. And then you start the blood transfusion. Okay. After all these precautions also, there are chances of occurring blood reactions. And these reactions occur. Most common reaction is mismatched blood transfusion. कितना भी आप precautions ले लो, it is unavoidable, and it is all major cause of mismatched blood transfusion is human error. It is about either negligence on blood bank side or negligence on doctor side, where you are not checking it properly, labels and all those things. On that only, it will cause mismatched blood transfusions. So in hazard of blood transfusion, we divide into 2 sections: mismatched blood transfusion and non-mismatched blood transfusion reactions. Okay, so first we'll talk about mismatched blood transfusion reaction. It occurs whenever the wrong blood group has been given to the individual. Then it starts doing agglutination in the donor's RBC, and that occur into the recipient circulation. And this antigen antibody complex and clumping will occur, and those small clots will form, and they will start blocking the small blood vessels, and that will lead to infarction or decreased blood supply and start doing ischemic pain into the individual. Now, whenever mismatched blood transfusion occur, how doctor will come to know whether there is a mismatched transfusion started or not? If you keep on waiting for a patient will complain, मुझे body pain हो रहा है, मुझे chills, rigors आ रहे हैं, tightness of the chest हो रहा है. Up to that time, if you wait, then it will be too late. So we should not wait up to that time. The first sign what you will find when the mismatched blood transfusion occur, that is this increase in heart rate and decrease in blood pressure. These are the 2 signs which you usually observe. Increase in heart rate is must. Moment there is increase, suppose patient has a 70, आप immediately blood transfusion दोगे 75 80 तक चला जाएगा, but if from 70 it goes to 90, then you should consider about the mismatched blood transfusion. And if keep on increasing goes to the 100, then definitely it is a mismatched blood transfusion. At the same time, blood pressure is also start falling. That also you need to observe. Now what happens? This agglutinated RBC will start hemolyzing, and hemoglobin will start releasing into the blood. So there is increased hemoglobin content into the blood, and that again leads to jaundice and all those things. That will be later, but that will lead to chest tightness, muscular pain, congestion. Patient will feel fevery, and there might be chills or rigors. Sometimes decrease in the body temperature will also be there, and all these toxins which released by the mismatched blood transfusion, that will start causing vasoconstriction in the various body, uh, organs and decrease blood supply to the individual organs. And as the hemoglobin is free form, that it start appearing hemoglobin into the urine and leads to hemoglobin urea. Now this hemoglobin will start accumulating into the glomerulus and will start damaging the renal tubules and causes acute renal tubular necrosis and can lead to acute renal failure. Once acute renal failure will occur, it will cause complete vasoconstriction. There is no blood supply to the kidney and there will be complete loss of urine formation. That condition is called anuria. Then it can go to the severe hypotension, circulatory shock, and person can die because of this blood transfusion. Now, how we can treat this blood transfusion? Moment you find a sign of the blood transfusion, that is increase in heart rate, decrease in blood pressure, stop blood transfusion immediately. Send that lab with all your BT notes to the blood bank. Second stage, you give steroid that prevents the reduce the antigen antibody reaction, give antihistaminic that prevent the allergic reaction, and at the same time will give laxative that will start removing the hemoglobin from the urine as much as possible and prevent the further damage to the kidney. Apart from this, we'll do symptomatic treatment. If there's a decrease difficulty in breathing, then supply with the oxygen and try to maintain the blood pressure with the IV fluids and try to maintain optimum blood pressure and allow the patient to survive. If you monitor patient properly for first 15-20 minutes and if there is no reaction seen and if you are able to identify there is increase or decrease blood pressure and you will identify the mismatched blood transfusion by seeing the heart rate and without complaining of the patient, then there will be no more damage to the patient and patient can survive. But if you ignore and it goes up to the patient is complaining of breathlessness, tightness of the chest, pain and all those things, then it causes severe damage to the patient and can be threat to the life. So monitoring is very important. Then come to the non-mismatch transfusion. Non-mismatch transfusion when it occur when there is no cross matching, everything will be done and mismatch is not occurring that time. So one of the commonest non-mismatch transfusion is hypervolemia, increased circulatory overload because of giving too much blood transfusion in the patient, and that specifically when patient has a cardiac disease. So it can land it into congestive cardiac failure and can lead to death of the individual. Then transmission of the bloodborne diseases like HIV, hepatitis, malaria, or syphilis that can transmit it or other viral infection and can cause infection to the individual. Then feverish reaction can occur, and this usually occur because of increased destruction of the leukocytes and platelets in the stored blood. Blood has been stored in a blood bank, and because of that, it leads to decreased number of the leukocyte, and those antigens will be there and can release the pyrogens by the destruction of the leukocyte and can cause feverish reaction. This can be treated just by giving anti-allergic medicine like Avil or something. Then allergic reaction can occur because of presence of any other type of antigen in the individual. Then it can cause hyperkalemia when excessive blood transfusion is being given. As the blood is stored, and if the temperature is not maintained or when blood from cold blood we are trying to bring it to normal temperature, during that time the RBC will start losing the potassium and that will increase the potassium content into the RBC at the higher concentration, and that can lead to hyperkalemia. So we should also take care of this hyperkalemia, and when you are giving Lasix injection, that already taken care by the hyperkalemia, so potassium loss will be increased and that will be taken care. So there is no special treatment required unless until it is a severe hyperkalemia. The next is a hypercalcemic tetany. As you know, there is an anticoagulant is added into the blood bank. That anticoagulant, saturated blood, sometimes also causes chelation in the recipient's blood also, and that will remove the calcium from the blood and can lead to hypercalcemic tetany. If that happens, you can just do by giving the calcium injections, and that can recover the patient. Okay, that's all about the blood transfusion. Now, how the blood stored into the bank. Previously, it used to usually collect 300 ml. Now, Why are written 420 ml? I don't know, but it might be 200 ml. Okay, sorry, 300 ml is taken and 120 ml is a that mixture solution that will make the total 420 ml of the blood. So we'll collect 300 ml and we'll mix it with 420 with acid citrate dextrose mixture, and we can store this blood into the blood bank up to the 6 month. That acid citrate dextrose solution contain acid citrate, trisodium citrate, dextrose, and distilled water.
I will.
And this dextrose plays an important role, and it provides energy to the sodium potassium pump so that it will maintain the size and shape of the RBC. Apart from that, acid citrate and trisodium citrate will act as anticoagulant and also try to maintain the pH and osmolarity of the blood. In this condition, the blood can be stored for 21 days, but we can increase the life of the stored blood by doing the fragmentation of the blood. We'll remove the RBC from the blood, we'll remove the plasma from the blood, we'll remove the platelet from the blood, and that can increase the life of the stored blood by up to 6 to 7 months of the shelf life with the individual component of the blood. There is no component transporter of the blood. While platelet and WBCs will slowly start destroyed and virtually removed from the blood by the end of the 24 hours after individually. Slowly, potassium concentration will start increasing into the plasma, while sodium concentration will also start increasing inside the cell, and all these little bit changes occur in the stored blood. Okay, that's all about today's. Any questions, any doubt? Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day, and Makar Sankranti once again to everyone.
Sir,
Yes?
sir, I have
Thank you, sir.
Happy Makar Sankranti, sir.
Happy Makar
Sir,
Sankranti.